Hello everyone, welcome back to this video. I am here, Mohana Sundari, Department of Chemistry. So in this video we are going to discuss the continuation of Introduction to Chemistry Chapter 1. So in last video we already discussed what is chemist, who are all notable chemists, and the role of chemistry in our daily life introduction. In this video we are going to discuss food and chemistry, food preservation and processing, old methods of preservation and modern techniques of preservation. So let us discuss the first, food and chemistry. So we all know what is food and how chemistry is involved in that food. So food is very important for our lives. It contains some chemical compounds, that is like carbohydrates, fats, proteins, vitamins and minerals. So let us take the first, carbohydrates. So carbohydrate is the main energy source of our body. So carbohydrates is made up of carbon, oxygen and hydrogen elements. So these elements give energy to our body like in starch form and in sugar form. And the next, fats are also energy source for our body. So there is some good fats and bad fats. So we have to take good fats in our food. So fat contained food or oils, butter, ghee. So these are all example for food items that contains fat. And the next, proteins. So proteins are also known as bodybuilding food. So proteins are generally made up of amino acids. And then last, vitamins and minerals. So these vitamins and minerals protect our body from disease. So these are all the substances that present in our food items. So these are all also known as chemical compounds. So these foods should be stored and kept properly so that we can take it. But there will be a growth of microorganisms after some days. To stop that growth of microorganisms, we have to store the food without any spoilage by adding some preservatives or by following some preservation techniques. So let us discuss that food preservation methods. Okay, in generally, what is food preservation? So it is the process of treating the food to stop down the spoilage or slow down the spoilage. So in this food preservation method we can reduce the spoilage of the food items. So we can keep that food item for long period of time. We can increase the shelf time of that particular items. So it can be available at any area or any part of the world like the raw food. So these are the old methods of food preservation. The first one is smoking, then drying, and then salting, and the last one is fermenting. So what is smoking? So smoking is the process of flavoring or cooking the food by exposing it to the smoke by burning or smoldering plant materials, most often wood. So by exposing the food items into smoke we can preserve that particular food item. And then drying. So drying means removing the water content from the food item by cooking or by sun drying. So this prevents the growth of bacteria and reduce the spoilage of that food items. So by removing that water content we can get some soup powder, milk powder. So we all know what is soup powder, what is milk powder. That water content present in that particular materials are removed by drying process. And then pickling, that is salting. So this method involves the soaking of that food item in salt solution. So we can add vinegar also in this method. So by soaking that food in salt solution or in vinegar, it prevents the growth of microorganisms so that the particular food item can be stored for a long period of time. And the next one is fermenting. It is a natural occurring chemical reaction method. So that is the natural food is converted into another form by microorganisms. So in fermenting method, microorganisms involved. Like so we all know the formation of curd from milk. So the milk is fermented to give curd. The cheese from milk. So these are all example for fermenting process. And then different methods, that is modern techniques involve scanning, pasteurization, freezing and adding chemical preservatives. So these are all some food preservation methods in common, like adding salt or sugar. So sugar is added in ketchup, sweet ketchup or in jam. So sugaring also one of the food preservation method, and dehydration we all know that drying method, vacuum packing, canning, refrigeration, pasteurization, adding acetic acid that is vinegar, bottling. So these are food preservation method. Now we are going to discuss the modern techniques of the food preservation. So the first one is canning. Canning involves a sterile container, that is no impurities should be present in the container. All the impurities should be removed, so that is sterile container. It may be plastic or glass or metal can. So enclosing the food items in that cans are called canning. So the principle behind the canning is the food is sterilized by giving heat and the place within the air container. Next method is pasteurization. This method is invented by the scientist Louis Pasteur. So this involves the protection of milk from the spoilage. So it involves by boiling the milk at particular temperature and then chilling it. So this is used still today. This method is used still today. This method helps to kill the bacteria as well as retain the taste of that milk and then avoid the poisoning of that milk. Next one is freezing. Freezing slows down the decomposition of food by turning the moisture into ice. So the prevention of the bacteria or microorganism is done there by freezing method. And then the in freezing method, the texture of most vegetables and fruits or meat and fish may be changed. So that due to the turning into ice method, it may be changed, but it is very useful to stop the growth of that bacteria. So among these methods we add some food preservatives. So these preservatives are very helpful to store the food. So it reduces the growth of bacteria or microorganism, and it should not affect the structure and the texture of that particular food, and it should be safe for human consumption, and it should extend the shelf life of that particular food, that is the length of the time of that food product should be extended. So these characteristics should be in the food preservatives, especially it should be safe for human consumption. So like that, in fruits and vegetables we use sodium benzoate and benzoic acid to reduce the spoilage, and in sauces and pickles we use vinegar, that is acetic acid. And these are all the things that prepared from various chemical processes. So like sugar from sugarcane is done by the process called filtration, evaporation, drying and crystallization. And then salt from seawater is obtained by the process of evaporation, recrystallization and drying. Then coffee berries from coffee powder is obtained by the process like drying, roasting, powdering and packed in an airtight container. So thank you students. The continuation of the next class will be agriculture, cosmetics, clothing. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Thank you.